Hi everyone. Today we're going to be diving deep into an app many of us use every single day, TikTok. We love scrolling through funny videos, dance challenges, and trends. But here's a question. How does TikTok know exactly what to show you next? In this video, I'll explain in simple terms how TikTok's algorithm works and why it matters specifically for teenagers. We'll explore three big issues: how the app encourages addiction and overuse, how it can create filter bubbles and content biases, and how it impacts mental health. And finally, we'll talk about what can be done to stay in control. Let's get started. So, what's actually happening behind the scene? TikTok runs on a powerful AI recommendation system. This system constantly collects data about how you use the app. Here's what it tracks: how long you watched each video, what you like, share, or comment on, who you follow, your language, device type, and even location signals. Then the algorithm uses machine learning to predict what kind of content you'll like next. Think of it like a friend who watches everything you do on the app and gets better and better at guessing your next favorite video. That's how your For You page feels so personalized. But here's the catch: this system isn't guessing for fun, it's designed to keep you watching for as long as possible. Our main focus is teenagers. Teens are one of TikTok's biggest user groups. For many, it's a space for expression, learning, entertainment, and connection. But most teens don't realize how deep the algorithm shapes what they see. Every scroll, like, or comment helps TikTok build a personalized media bubble, and that has real world side effects. Let's talk about the first major issue: addiction. TikTok is designed to keep your brain hooked. Every time you swipe and get a new, exciting video, your brain releases a small amount of dopamine, the same chemical linked to pleasure and reward. This creates what's called a dopamine loop, and because there's no natural stopping point, like the end of a TV episode, users can scroll for hours without noticing. For teenagers, this can mean losing sleep, getting distracted from schoolwork, and struggling to manage time. The algorithm isn't prioritizing your well being, it's prioritizing your attention. The second major ethical issue is something called a filter bubble. Now, that might sound technical, but the idea is actually really simple. A filter bubble is what happens when the algorithm shows you only what it thinks you want to see and slowly hides everything else. Imagine you like a few fitness videos. Pretty soon your feed is only fitness. You like a video about skincare. Suddenly it's skincare, 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 on repeat. And here's the problem: when your feed is that narrow, you stop being exposed to new perspectives. You don't even realize how much information is being filtered out. It's like being inside a bubble that keeps growing around you, soft, comfortable, but also limiting. You start seeing less of the world and more of yourself. This doesn't just affect entertainment, it can shape how you view politics, society, culture, even your own identity. For example, if someone is interested in extreme weight loss video, they might quickly find themselves in a stream of dangerous diet content without even searching for it. And then there's the issue of bias. TikTok's algorithm, like all algorithms, isn't neutral. Studies and reports have shown it sometimes downranks or excludes content from minority communities, disabled creators, or people who don't fit certain beauty norms. That means some voices are amplified while others are made invisible. For teenagers growing up online, this matters because your feed isn't just entertainment, it's shaping your worldview. And if you don't know you're in a bubble, you can't break out of it. The third issue we need to talk about is mental health, and this one hits home for a lot of teenagers. On TikTok, we constantly see highlight reels of other people's lives: perfect skin, perfect bodies, perfect relationships, and perfect success stories. But what we don't see is what's behind those videos: the editing, the filters, the carefully selected moments. For many teens, this can lead to constant comparison. It starts subtly. Why don't I look like that? Why isn't my life that fun? And over time, these thoughts can chip away at self-esteem. And then there's the flood of harmful or extreme content, like unrealistic beauty standards, toxic diet trends, or content that glorifies unhealthy behavior. Even if you don't search for it, the algorithm can feed it to you because it knows those topics keep people engaged. But engagement isn't the same as well being. Research, including the WHO reports and Australian mental health studies, has linked prolonged social media exposure with increased rate of anxiety, depression, and poor body image among young people. And what makes it even trickier, most teens don't even realize the algorithm is curating their emotional environment. So it's not just random content, it's carefully selected content, optimized to keep you watching, not to make them feel good. This is why understanding how these system works is so important, because when you know how something is shaping your emotions, you can start to protect your mental space. Now, let's step back and look at the bigger picture. Why does all of this matter? Because TikTok isn't just some harmless app where we scroll through dance videos. It's a powerful AI system influencing millions of young minds, shaping habits, opinions, and even how people see themselves. Addiction affects how much time teens spend on this platform. Filter bubbles shape what information they receive, and mental health impacts and shapes how they feel every day. This is why governments, educators, researchers are paying serious attention to platforms like TikTok. Schools report lower focus, disrupted sleep patterns. Studies show links between algorithmic feeds and rising anxiety levels. This isn't just about social media, it's about well being, trust, and informed choice. When we understand the impact, we can make smarter choices, and that brings us to the next part: what can actually be done. The good news is there are solutions. This isn't something we're powerless against. Let's start with what TikTok as a platform can do. First, more transparency. Users deserve to know how their feed is built and why they're seeing certain content. Better user controls. People should be able to reset their algorithm, set content boundaries, and have clear screen time nudges. Third, ethical design. That means features that prioritize well being, not just engagement numbers. But it's not just about the company. Teenagers themselves have more power than they might think. Simple steps can make a difference. Setting daily screen time limits, using the not interested option, pushback on unwanted content, following diverse creators to break the bubble, taking intentional breaks to give your brain some breathing room. Because the truth is, the app doesn't control you unless you let it. And once you see how the algorithm works, it's much easier to stay in charge. Awareness is the first step, action is the next.